So first we are going to set a background. We find that in the window tabs, environment, and we choose Setuniman, which is the image from wallbox.ru. And so we can see that the background is visible. I'm going to skip this setting of the camera, etc., as we saw before, and I'm going to jump straight in to the part where I set up the lights. So we choose the lights from Smart Content. We have to go to Lights, Other, where we find the Uber environment to light. And that's Uber environment to base. Okay, so it's loaded. You can choose it in the Scene tab, and we go to Parameters, choose Light, and find Color, and we can load. Notice that the environment mode is occlusion with directional shading, shadows, and in the meantime we chose the fake panorama, the second version, which is Gaussian blurred. Okay, we have a plane to catch shadows, and that has to be positioned correctly. It's not seen in this tutorial. Meanwhile, we're rendering without the plane, so without the shadow for the figure. And this is rendering. It's going to take a few seconds, but we can see that it's rendered well. But the figure, Genesis 8 figure, has no shadow. So next we have to save this image. We want to save it as night image.tiff. I prefer the TIFF format to keep the maximum quality. Okay, so here I'll remove the background, change it to none, and we'll leave the background as a white color, and we can take all the items in the scene, like the blazer, top, etc., and change all the colors to black. Notice I'm using a filter with the word color, American spelling, and then I'm changing all specular color, subsurface color, velvet cover, all colors to black. And I repeat this for all the items, including the Genesis 8 female herself. I'm changing all the colors to black. And notice the color is changed within the surface tab. After you select the item, click on surface, and you'll find the item that you want to change. Click on the item under currently used, and you can then change all the colors. Always changing the color to black. The plane has also been re-enabled so that it will cast a shadow. The reason for changing the figure to black is also that you can then create a mask for the figure for future use in a graphics editing program. At the same time, the figure will still cast a shadow onto the plane. Remember, the plane is a normal Daz Studio primitive plane, approximately 10 meters, just enough to cast a shadow, or more than enough to cast the shadow. We're doing the same to the hair, to loose hair. Don't forget, in this case it's to loose hair. And I'm changing all the colors to black. True, it's a bit tedious, but this is basically okay. So we can render. Notice that the scene is all white except for the figure, which should now render in black, and the plane together with the shadow. The plane is still rendering, it's rendering green for some, probably due to the Uber environment light. Remember, we're rendering in 3Delight. We can see the shadow. The shadow is a black-green color. So now we have to save the image. I'm going to save it as night image dash shadow, always.tiff, and we can save it. Click on save. And now we're opening graphics program like Corel Paint Shop Pro 2018. In this case, we've opened the two images. I'm selecting all, and I'm going to modify the selection. I'm going to select the color range, the green color range, in fact, so that we'll be able to extract anything which is not green. So that's it, basically. We can cut it, we can paste it into the as a layer over the other image, etc., etc. And you can manipulate also that shadow. You can change its color if you want. You can do any form of manipulation you need to do in your graphics editing program. Essentially, perhaps adding a layer, a group layer, and creating a mask, and then you can do all the sorts of things, that fine-tuning and post-processing, which you can do using a graphics program. And that's our final scene. The figure is rendered, and you can see also the shadow. Okay, so this ends this small tutorial.